Hey guys, Theron Asbury again, marketing manager of Vital Outdoors. Very, very excited for another podcast. This podcast, we are featuring Hunter Eubanks. He got a top 10 last year in the BFL tournament on Lake Guntersville. I believe it was the Choo Choo division. So really cool this year. The tournament's on the exact same weekend as last year. Again, Hunter, he got second in the tournament. Was just a few ounces from taking home the victory, so we're very excited to have him. But real quick, if you've been enjoying these podcasts, all the different anglers that we've been interviewing, all the different podcasts for Vital Outdoors, be sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like and comment on this video, and get notified once you subscribe about all the future podcasts that we're doing once we drop them. So now let's, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Hunter Eubanks. He, again, is a BFL angler, but he had a phenomenal 2021 season. He also fished the Toyota Series, which is the level in Major League Fishing just above the BFLs. He made the championship on Lake Pickwick last year, and as far as the BFLs, he qualified for the regional. He got a top 6 at the regional, and now he's a 2022 BFL All-American qualifier. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Mr. Hunter Eubanks, how you doing this morning, sir?
Pretty good. What's going on, Hammer?
Just another day in paradise. Glad that we could have you on the show and find time to talk to you. I looked at your career, man. You've got an exciting career built up. You're still relatively new to tournament fishing, so it's always cool to see a guy come in and not only love the sport of fishing, but then just find success in doing that.
Oh yeah. This is all I've ever wanted to do since I was a kid. I used to get up and watch the Bassmasters, BFLs, anything, fishing wise. And as soon as I was old enough to walk off, where Mama trusted me, I could go, and I'd go walk miles from 3 ponds in a circle and come back to my house. So from daylight to dark.
Right. That's I think how a lot of anglers started out fishing, the old nostalgia. I started out with the Zebco 33, and Mom and Dad would drop me off at the pond, or Mom and Dad would drop me off at the boat ramp, and they'd come back at night and pick me up. I mean, that's how I started. We talked to numerous anglers throughout these podcasts that started the same way. So it's just really cool. And, real quick, I don't want to get away from talking to you about tournament fishing, but for all the parents that are tuned in watching this podcast, make sure you take your kids fishing. I mean, it transformed my life. Hunter, I know it transformed your life. It's the best thing, honestly, you could do for a kid is to take them fishing. And I've always said, if you teach a kid how to fish and you give him that bug to want to fish, he's going to spend all his money wanting to fish and not have any money to do anything crazy and get himself in trouble.
That's right. I may have gotten a little trouble along the way, but I ain't going to lie about that.
It happens. Hunting and fishing.
Fishing's always been root to heart. So that's what I want to do.
Good deal. So, tell us about last year at Guntersville. You and I, before we got on the show, we were talking a little bit about how you got in the tournament. Really funny story. So, walk us through how you registered for the tournament. How far away do you live from Guntersville and all the other lakes in the Choo Choo division? Like, what just prompted you to start fishing the BFLs last year?
I was coming to practice, and my wife gets online. She's looking up stuff on MLF and BFLs, and that's kind of our thing we do on the way down there, watch some videos. She's into it as much as I am, loves traveling. So I really have her to thank, for the BFL finish. She was like, there's a BFL Saturday. And I was like, Katie, I've never been on this lake in my life. I don't know nothing about it, other than what I've watched. She said, well, at least I have a wife that's got enough confidence in me. Luckily, she was like, just jump in it. We're already spending this, going there. So won't you go ahead and just see if you can get in and fish it? You do good in practice most of the time. I said, okay. So I paid the entry fee. They let me in, and they had a co-angler for me, and I took off and winged it like I always do. And it seems like I always do better in practice a lot of times, and it's like your first couple of days when you go with your natural instinct. That's when you realize, hey, I'm on to something, when you're trying to figure things out and getting a pattern on how to pattern fish, so that's kind of how it fell together. And I went out there and whacked 20 pounds, fishing at jig. So, I couldn't really complain. I come back in and I was like, I'm going to have a shot to win this thing, because I didn't know the guy in front of me. He was like, man, them fish way more than your fish, South Carolina. I said, man, I ain't got about 17 pounds. I don't have 20. He's like, nah, I think you got a little more than 17. So it kind of shocked me a little bit, So,
right.
But that's how that ended up. I got her to thank for that one. But the guy that won is a good buddy of mine. Freddie Palmer won And I meant to tell you that earlier, but he was standing there, and I was like, "What's going on, man?" And he said, "Not a whole lot." I said, "I didn't know you was fishing this." He said, "No." I said, "How'd you do?" He said, "Man, I'm leading with 21 pounds." I said, "You're who I finished second to." So, it was kind of crazy. I was sitting there telling him, "Hey," and he was one beat me. But, I lost it by a pound. And the only other BFL, that's the second one. I've lost that one by a pound, lost one by half a pound. I told my wife, I got to learn to be a closer. I got to close one of these things out, So
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, the closing's always the hardest part, and I've seen that among numerous anglers that fish very strong in tournaments, and it's just like day 4 something happens. So there's something to be said for the anglers out there, the very good closers. Some of them that come to mind to me are Randy Howe, 2014 Bassmaster Classic champion, when he went from 13th to 1st on Lake Guntersville. Greg Hackney last year or 2 years ago, he was fishing the Bass Pro Tour event on Lake Texoma, went from 10th to 1st the last day. And, Kevin Van Dam, Jacob Wheeler, the list goes on of guys that are just unbelievable closers. And one that I think of also is Larry Nixon back in the 80s when he was fishing the Redman series and the different tournaments that he was fishing. He was always seemed like he was below 10th, but he'd come back and win the tournament. So there's something to be said for that. But hey, the only thing I have found that can help you close is more time in the water. So you're going to get one, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, you may get one in 2 weeks. We don't know.
Yeah. Hey,
so,
I'm hoping so. And it's weird because, I fished Florida and I kind of struggled, when I first went to Florida. You're like, I'm going to go catch a 10-pounder. You get all excited and you get there and it's something you've never fished. And you're like, holy crap, I don't know what I'm doing. I showed up with all fluorocarbon, no braid, and I had to make myself learn that stuff. And then, early in my career with that in bass, that led me to knowing kind of what to do initially when you get around grass, at Guntersville.
Right.
So,
Right. I will say, I live in Florida, but the grass in Guntersville is a whole. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's different.
I was saying, I live in Florida and the grass here, it's not as pretty as the grass in Guntersville, I have to say, especially in the summertime when it really gets matted out in the middle of the lake. But, the thing about Florida that'll get you is it all looks the same. Like, you're like, oh, I'll just find a patch of grass and go flip a Cinco or a jig or whatever. It all looks the same. So definitely time on the water, breaking all that down is very important and critical. So, walk us through. You said you were throwing a jig last year. Can you break down a little bit more like what you were relating to, if you don't mind? Maybe was it riprap along the bridges, or were you throwing brush piles, or what kind of jig maybe?
Well, in that BFL, I started fishing. I mean, I don't want to really give it away. It ain't nothing special. I was fishing.
No, that's
some docks,
totally okay. Right.
But I figured out, a key to them docks, how to get the fish to bite. Because I went through docks, and then I come back. I was like, I know there's fish on these docks, because that's kind of a lake we have here is Lake Lyman that has grass and docks, and that's kind of where I learned to do what I did at Guntersville too. And I noticed it was really how you used the jig and paid attention to what was there, I guess, is the main key. I don't want to really give it away, but other than that, I caught every fish I weighed in off one stretch of docks. I don't think I caught another fish. I know there was one place I was catching them on a trap, and it made like a little ditch in this place, and I had my co-angler with me, and man, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just one of them days, it's like, I did good where I wanted to go first thing in the morning and caught my limit and had, what I had, and then I said, I'm gonna run down here and hit this other spot, and I was down there near the crossway, toward Browns Creek, so I hit that spot first. My co-angler catches 4-pounder, and I was like, what is the difference? And I really think, a lot of people don't realize till I started watching video. It bothers me. I'll come home and I have to start watching, like if there's something other pros know that I don't know, and a lot of it's line size. You don't really think sometimes because you're go on something, is your line size and slowing down because it got cold there. It snowed. So, and I couldn't even, I ripped the carpet out of my live wells because blast off, I was like, maybe I need to try to get my live wells open before I get, because I knew I was going to catch them, and So I had to go to Dollar General and get a bunch of towels and stick all around my lockers and everything because I couldn't get none of my stuff open, So that's a lesson learned. If anybody has some weather that's going to be cold, that's a tip I can tell anybody. You better bring a bunch of towels. Just let your lockers lay when you get rain and ice. But I went to the Crossway in that BFL and I started cranking a DT6, and I was like, well, I know I can catch it. This is kind of the way I like to catch them. I said, I want to be able to catch a big one. I just started on one end and went to the other, because I know from videos, they catch them at the Crossway, because
Mm-hmm.
I'd never been there. So in my mind, I'm trying like, let's get a big one. I got a sack, let's try to get a big one. And so I go down through there and I hang one, and it passed me going this way. I never turned it around. I don't think it was a drum. It come up, and it got right up there to open its mouth. I didn't really see how big it was. But when it shook, it just come off. And I was like, well, there goes that, there goes the tournament. So I said, well, let's go back, make sure we got plenty of time. That way we know we cash a check, And I get back up there and I was like, it's fishing stocks more. And I actually caught a big one on chatterbait. So,
Okay.
I mean, my opinion for this tournament, I think, your jerkbait's going to be a player. We got pre-spawn bass that we're going after, and they're not little. That lake has some of the best quality fish that I've ever seen anywhere I fish. The thickness of them, they're healthy, and I don't know. It pumps me up to go there. I've been to Florida. I fish Champlain. I qualified in a tournament at Champlain, fish the third day, and I opened. And that other than them smallmouth, I love smallmouth fishing too. But other than
I'm
that,
right there with you.
Guntersville is where it's at for me.
Right.
I love it. It's just fun to fish. So
Right. Well, that's pretty exciting, Hunter. Sounds like to me, you didn't give too much away. Dock fishing is very, very
yeah,
tricky. And just from my experience, and I know it's something that there's numerous blogs and videos about because it's very tricky. I think each person has their own way of breaking it down. So you didn't give away too much there, but it sounds like more or less you went and just did what you had confidence in.
yeah. I'm confident with a jig, shaky head, and I've got to where, I used to not be a big crankbait guy. I'm a river fisherman here, in Savannah River stuff, and that's just kind of how a lot of us fish and stay in water and stuff.
Right.
But, you know, I've got to where I was getting really good with a trap, and crankbait. That was kind of where I used to. Well, I mean, to just being honest, I sucked at it. You know what I mean? And I had to make myself get better at it. And now it's in springtime. That's one of my favorite things to do. So, I mean, when you talk about Guntersville, I mean, you're going to have people you're going to have so many traps come through there that's probably unbelievable to the bass, because they're in there. But
Oh yeah.
the key to Guntersville, I think too, it's going to be finding the right grass. You get what I'm saying? For the trap fishing, you're going to have to find where it's the grass they want to be in to find a good wad of the ones that are going to win. So,
Right.
and you got to have some numbers. And to me, I'm kind of on the fly. I like having some numbers, and I like going after see what else we can find too. See if it keeps getting bigger. So
Right. Something to fall back on. So, well, that's pretty cool. We looked at the weather pattern last year. Very excited to see you in the tournament again this year. Do you think it'll be any different? How do you like your chances? What do you know what the water's doing right now? Do you know what the grass is doing? Like, how's it going to favor from last year?
I kind of look at the weather and stuff, but I'll look at it a week before. Because it seems, you hear everybody say, any pros too, it changes every day. When you're fishing, it changes every day. And from the way our weather's looking here, I mean, we just had 6 to 8 inches of snow, and I wouldn't have expected that to even happen. So I don't really know. Like, I didn't expect it to snow in Alabama last year. I was thinking maybe it'd be a little warmer, but I think Guntersville's like right at 6 or 7 hours, 6.5 hours where I'm at in Greenville. So, I've just kind of took me some off time this year and working on a building and stuff and bought some land. So I take me a little break and deer hunt a little in the winter before I, get wound up. But I'm getting to where I'm ready to get out of the house and get at it pretty hard. I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm just ready to go fishing.
I heard that. Amen. Even down here in Florida, the weather's been a little bit on the cooler side. It's kind of messed with our saltwater fishing. We don't have a whole lot of hunting. I didn't hear any good really hunting reports. So I'm with you, man. Like I haven't picked up a rod really since November. Like let's just go fishing.
Yeah,
Especially with everything going on in the world right now, we're still dealing with this crazy shutdown and mandates and the craziness on the news we see at night. Like let's just go fishing. Like come
yeah,
on.
that's right. Yeah, that's my opinion on the world stuff. I don't really get into politics stuff. People get
I
mad
don't
about
either.
it. I just, I tend to myself, mind my business, and do what I trust in the Lord to take care of me. So that's just kind of how I feel about all of it.
Amen.
That's just
Amen. And
that's
and I
just me
know
personally.
Kyle, the owner of the of Revital Outdoors, he feels the same way. Like let's just relate
Yeah,
more to the to our Lord and Savior upstairs. Let's focus on what we have passion for. That's family. That's fishing. That's
that's right.
hunting. And everything else works out. So, well, that's really cool, man. Well, last year you said your buddy Freddie Palmer won the tournament with a little over
Mhm.
21 pounds. You had a little over 20. Do you suspect the same weights this year, or
Oh yeah.
like what do you
hmm
think?
Yeah, I think my personal opinion, we were 2 weeks behind, or a week or something behind the schedule of this year from when the tournament date was. So
Okay.
that tells me, we're going to be a week or two pretty much further where the fish are going to be staging. And from what I seen, what I did last year, it could be. There's no doubt in my mind I can go do it again on the same spot, and it might be even better than it was. Might be big. It might be a bunch of little ones. It's just going to depend. It seemed like that place replenished itself. Of they're going there, staging, getting ready to do what they want to do as soon as the weather, you know, gets to the temperature they want it. Because that's going to be the
Mhm.
main thing is the water temperature for the fish to
Mhm.
spawn. So that I mean, February's that's still a little early, but if you say next week it gets back 70 degrees like it was here in Greenville, you don't know what happened. Fish
Right.
I've seen early to where it blew my mind, so you never know until you get there and you can look around, see things, see the water temperature, and see how it's going to all shake out. But I mean, me personally, I hope I win. I'm not cocky, but I'm confident. You know what I mean? I'm confident myself. I hope to win. I mean, that's my main goal. It's getting
Right.
personal enough that I've lost two of them. One was by half a pound and a pound. Like, I want that as much as a title or something. You know what I mean? A BFL or a MLF Toyota Series tournament is hard to win as a classic or the title or
Mhm.
when they had the cup. It's just you have a field of sticks in their local area a lot of times, and you got to beat them better than they know it. So
Right. I commend you with that thought because I truly believe people have argued it. I truly believe that the Toyota Series, the Bassmaster Opens, especially the Toyota Series, and the BFLs are the hardest to ever win because, like you just said, if you think about the BFLs, there's 28 different divisions, I believe, and all these tournaments are based around the local hammers being able to fish them. So
oh yeah.
if you show up and there's 130 boats in
hmm
Guntersville, there's 130 guys that are hammers on Guntersville. Same with
yeah.
all the different divisions. Like they pick the right lakes, they pick the right time of year, and it's always the best guys out there competing against one another. So
Oh yeah.
hats off to the guys out there that have actually won the tournaments and the guys that
Yeah.
continue to win. You look at like Dickie Newberry. He's won 17 BFL tournaments between Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn in the Cowboy division. Like, unbelievable. Like, how
Yeah.
is that even
Yeah.
possible,
That's getting
So,
it.
for sure,
That's
for sure.
that's
So, well,
impressive.
Hunter, to wrap things up a little bit, you gave a lot of great insight. Obviously, good luck to you in the tournament. We hope you do really well. We hope to have you back on our podcast where we're Vital Outdoors talking about your success in the upcoming tournament. So it's always good if we can get guys to repeat these podcasts. That means they're continuing to do well. But is there any last people you want to give a shout out to? You mentioned your wife. Any other family or
Yeah.
sponsors? Anybody else you'd like to mention before we wrap up?
Yeah. My mom and dad, man, it really, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't be able to do it. They pay for my fuel. We own our family business with Top Gun Application Services, so they help me out with that. I pay for my entries fees myself. So between me and my wife, you always hear about people sacrificing stuff. She wants me to get it as much as, I know she wants as much as I want it. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Whether it comes down to, hey, we eating sandwiches, or soup or something. If it comes down to, we got to watch our money so we can pay for entry fees on our own bills. I really can't thank her enough, as much as she's done for me. And my brother, his wife and little girls, and I just had a little boy. So, I'm hoping for things to start rolling, because I feel myself getting better every year,
Mhm.
and kind of lead the way for him. He might not like fishing; he might want to play football. I don't know,
I don't know.
but
You live in the right part of the world where fishing's kind of life. So
oh
I can
yeah,
already
yeah,
tell he's got a good mentor. So
yeah,
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, well, Hunter, it's
yeah,
been great to have you on. And just a
yeah,
quick, shout out to all the wives out there, moms and dads, brothers, sisters, everybody that is involved in fishing and helps others get out there on the water. Just thank you for doing that. It's really important to get more and more people out in the outdoors, expose them to hunting and fishing. There's a lot of true opportunity out there for everybody to get involved, and it just takes people to take the time to go do it. So find that time. Take your kids fishing, take whoever fishing, find a local fishing club or hunting club, and just get out there in the outdoors and be a part of it. So hats off to all those, again, all those people that have influenced us to become the anglers we are today. So, well, Hunter, thank you again for being on with the Revital Outdoors. We wish you the best of luck. And
yeah,
good luck with the rest of your season. And we look forward
yeah,
to seeing you also at that BFL All-American in May on Lake Hamilton in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
yeah. I'm pretty pumped about that. I didn't really realize I was going to get there. I jumped in that tournament. I didn't even practice. I come from a tournament, slept, had to go the next day, and just went without practice because I fished Murray. But I mean, really, any other people, in my mind, I know I need to thank before we get off is, uh,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to thank Dale with Gamma. Um, he makes really good fluorocarbon. He's actually from where my wife is from in Pennsylvania. They've come from Oil
Okay.
City down to Franklin. So, I'm on board with him this year with line and everything. And I'd like to thank Miss Judy too at Old School Tackle Shop. She's our local little tackle shop. I get my stuff from her too. So, um, I know you give credit where credit's due. There's other people other than just family too. Um, I'm ready for it to happen. I'm ready to get it going. I'm ready to leave now, if I'm honest, but I can't go nowhere because we're in snow.
Right,
So,
right. Well, it's always great
yeah,
to see you excited, and
yeah,
that's very important to all the listeners out there. Is support the local tackle shops, the local bait companies, even to the
yeah,
bait companies, line lure product companies that are all the way up into the big box stores have online retailers from big to small. Please support them. They give back so much to our anglers and our fishing and hunting communities. But without that support from us, we can't do that. So, absolutely check out the two companies that Hunter just mentioned. So, well, Hunter, we're going to go ahead and let you go. I know you're
all
excited
right,
to get out of the snow and get to Guntersville. Good luck to
yeah,
you. And man, we're just going to be
yeah.
rooting for you. It's going to be awesome.
All right, holler at me. I'll take you out there one day.
Okay, sounds good. We're
All
gonna have
right,
to do that. So, all right, thank you,
all right,
buddy.
all right. Thank you, man.
All right, guys, very excited to have Hunter Eubanks on. He fished last year in the BFL on Lake Guntersville, got a top 10. It looks and sounds like he's going to be up there again this year. He's very excited for the tournament. So, big thank you to Hunter and his wife for talking him into getting into this crazy tournament fishing and supporting him to do that. So, we wish them the best of luck. Guys, it's been an honor to be on this podcast again. Make sure you check out our website if you've never heard of Revital or you're interested in our CBD products, or you currently use the products and you have a really good testimonial or a good review, check out our website. That's going to be revitaloutdoors.com. Also, if you're a BFL angler, tournament angler, and you're interested in Revital Outdoors, we are taking applications right now for our pro staff program. We have one of the best programs in the industry right now, offering a great incentive and commission opportunities. And any way you feel like you can represent Revital Outdoors, we take all applications. Please check out our website. We have a pro staff tab in there, and just fill out the application. We'll be happy to review it. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram. All of our Revital Outdoors social media platforms. And again, please subscribe to our YouTube page so you get notified when all these future podcasts are happening. From everybody at Revital Outdoors, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you for tuning in. God bless and be safe.